That is the phrase.
How are you doing? I was just telling them that although I was, I'm 20 minutes late today, it's because I was 24 hours early yesterday. And we had set up, and we're like, Chuma, where are you? And Chuma said, it's not today. I was like, no way. It is today now. And he said, it's Thursday. I'm like, it's Thursday, yeah. So I remember what I used to do before to avoid confusion. I used to give them 11:59 p.m.
Yes.
I would never give them 12 because at 12 o'clock, I've met someone who they've told 12 o'clock, your flight is 12 a.m. on Thursday. Not knowing that their flight is actually 12 a.m. Wednesday night.
Mm.
So on Thursday, they just go to the airport normal 9 o'clock in the evening, believing their flight is 12 a.m. They just tell them, your flight was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome, Chuma. How are you doing?
Good. What about you?
Very well. Well, thank you. I can see you're doing well and you're looking good. And there have been so many conversations right now about Nigerians enjoying and Nigerians suffering abroad. And most people I know who are into oil and gas would argue that Nigeria is far better than the US when it comes to oil and gas, especially regarding salaries. So my question is, what is your take? There's so many conversations right now. The jackpot topic is a very important topic. Everybody's like, no, we're going to jackpot. We're going. Even people that don't need to jackpot are ready to jackpot now. Now, so Niger matter don't reach. Everybody don't tire. Everybody want to run. But the conversation is it worthy? Should we jackpot or should we just stay and bold it out? So there are many conversations, and a lot of people see real estate as a tricky investment. It looks like you're making money, but by the time you put pen to paper and actually calculate how much you bought the house, how much you're paying in legal fees, you'd realize that it is actually more or less just recouping your investment barely. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Yeah.
So I want to hand over to you. First of all, how are you doing? Let me greet you. Make sure say you did okay. You understand how they talk. Make sure say everything they plumb.
Okay. The phrase, I'm fine. I'm doing very well. It's been a while, and I want to also use the opportunity to thank you for the platform that you are giving us. Okay, it is an educative platform. Okay, a lot of people have benefited from your platform, and today's and today is also going to be one of those days, where people are going to really benefit, especially as regards real estate. Okay, so now I will talking about the real estate. Okay, so there are some things I always tell people, especially if you want to get into real estate, get you a mentor. Get you a mentor.
Get a
okay.
mentor.
So a lot of people have tried to do this. A lot of people have tried to do real estate. Usually, the Nigerian kind of mindset, where we don't want to go through the process, but we want the results. You see that? Now, get you a mentor, it becomes difficult. Now you get into something and think that by maybe watching YouTube, you should be able to do a business. It's more than that. It's way more than that. You see that? So in my case, okay, meanwhile, for those of you that don't know me, let me do a quick introduction here. So my name is Chuma Anisobi. I studied engineering, electrical electronics engineering in Azikiwe University. So in 2015, I moved to the US, and not long after, I got into the oil and gas industry, working for a multinational oil company. So during the COVID pandemic, I began to pivot towards real estate. Okay, so the whole transition took me 2 years. Okay, it took me 2 years. But guess what? I had a mentor, actually mentors in real estate that were guiding me, you know, pretty much hand by hand. Okay, so now the training, the underlying training is what a lot of people skip. And they try to, you know, do this just by maybe watching YouTube or watching or seeing somebody else doing it. It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the work. Okay, it's not this is not some get rich quick, you know, scheme kind of no, you put in the work. You have to know what you're doing. Okay, there are several factors that can derail, you know, especially for people that have no mentor. And I keep telling, you know, my mentees, my students, I teach them, these are the things I teach them, you know, do this, don't do this one. It's during my training class, I'll tell you this kind of property, don't go into it. You don't have enough experience to go into this particular type of, you know, investment. With time, yes, you can get there. You see that these are the things a mentor help you prevent, so that your business or your real estate investment will be profitable. So that by the time you do all your numbers and calculations and everything, you are still out there, you know, on top. You know what I mean? But when you try to skip the process, you know, at the end of the day, you will learn it the hard way.
Lola Fulana is all over the place on my timeline saying real estate in the USA is at a low. They're about to start COVID. If you are buying multi-million-dollar properties and not lower than $600, blah, 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 blah. Can you please throw some light onto this? Because she's creating quite a storm in the comment section.
Okay, I'm even trying to find exactly what she said so that I'll be able to specifically.
Real estate is in the low in the UK. Let's start from that. Do you agree? In the US, do you agree?
No, I disagree with that. So I will talk about the US market. So the US market today is not in the lows. Okay. Now, different markets, different takes. You see that different market, different. That's why you do market analysis. There are some states I invest in. There are some states I don't invest in. You see that? So these are the things you need to know. So talking about being low, there is not low. In the markets I invest in is high and going up. They're like,
she said,
buy today.
The NASDAQ. She said, check the NASDAQ.
NASDAQ is stock market. We are not talking about stocks here. Okay, we are not talking about securities here. We are talking about real estate. You want to hold on to something tangible. That's real estate for you. Okay, so today real estate in the US is not going down. Actually, is expected to go up, you know, in the near future. And in the markets that I invest in, I still like make profits. You hear what I mean? Like serious profits. And again, you have to know how to buy this. You see, investing is different from somebody just going out there to go buy a property. A home buyer is totally different from real estate investors. We don't buy where they buy. We don't buy where they buy. And we have strategies that they cannot implement. Different strategies that we implement that they cannot, because of the way you know, they are structured or they are wired. Let me put it that way. Okay, so we try to find distressed properties, property that we can bring or add some value to. You see that? We want to bring some value. I tell my students, if you can't add a value to any particular property, don't buy it. Okay, don't buy it. You have to bring some value, you know, so that from day one, it will make sense from day one. So that even if you decide, okay, you know what, after buying it today, I don't want to own it anymore. I want to sell it tomorrow. You're still making profit the next day, within 24 hours. You see that? But for regular home buyers, a lot of times they don't have access to, you know, things like that, because usually they take loans, which is customized for them, regular home buyers. You see that? And they don't let them get into the kind of properties that we get into, because they know that we bring value to the property. They don't. You see that? So we don't buy at the same at the same rate and in the same market. You see that? So, so that's what I'm trying to explain here. Okay, so the real estate market is still strong in the US. It's not. However, I must have to, you know, put this caveat. However, it's not like the way we are seeing it during the pandemic, but then it puts us in a better position as buyers, as investors, so that we can negotiate good terms, good prices, you know, that will make us profit, which at the end of the day, that is what we are looking for. You see that? So that's my take on that. So whoever is saying that the real estate market is going down has no idea what you are saying. And let me be honest with you, in the next 5 years, you are going to be buying that property way more than it is today. So the best thing you want to do right now is to buy today.
All right, guys, remember to keep your comments very positive. If you want to learn something, come and learn. If you feel that this is not for you, just skip and pass. One thing I like to tell people all the time is, of course, any investment is risky.
Yes.
But when you have a mentor, the tendency to cushion your risk is higher, because it's like you want to go into watches, you want to invest in watches. What most stupid people do is they just walk into a Rolex shop or a Hublot shop and they say watches are good investment, and they buy a Hublot or a Rolex, and then 2 months later they go back to the shop and they try to sell the watch, and then they lose money. Yeah, because you need to know what watches to invest in.
Exactly.
Most of you will think, oh, gold, you go and buy a gold president. I think that's a good investment. I'll give you an example. I'm wearing a stainless steel Submariner, and this is a pure gold. Let me remove the protective cover. This is a pure gold, 18 karat rose gold. What do they call it? Day date. This pure 18 karat gold watch or this stainless steel watch, which one is a better investment? Most people tell you the gold. In watches, it doesn't work like that.
Yes.
The more rare a piece is, the harder it is to get from the factory.
Yes.
The higher the rate,
the value,
or the value is. Now, even these ones, it's not all of them that are valuable. The green dial, yellow gold, and rose gold ones are extremely valuable and extremely hard to get. That's the green dial. So if you want to hedge your money on something, you don't just walk in and they show you. Once they show you a watch in the Rolex shop, just know you're going to lose your money. That one that you asked them for, and 3 years later, you are still on the queue waiting to get it. That's the watch to invest in. But the problem is people don't know this. They just walk in. I've had people call me, oh, Daddy Freeze, you said I should, that watches are good investment. I went to buy a Rolex and then I'm trying to sell it and they're telling me I've lost 10% or 20%. There was one lady that actually called me from the UK. I was like, but you said Rolexes are good deals. I'm trying to sell I'm struggling to sell my Rolex and they're offering me like 30% off and I just bought it 2 years ago. Why am I losing 30% of my value? The question is, she went to buy Rolex that had diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Because she thought that, you know, when you go and buy gold is an asset. When it comes to watches, the amount of gold in this watch is not up to $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are buying it because of gold, you are going to enter trouble. Maximum, the amount of gold in this watch is say maybe $5,000. This watch, the minimum you can get it for, even on the used market, is about $45,000. So inside $45,000, the whole gold is $5,000. So if you buy this watch and you melt it, you only get $5,000. So if gold is the reason why you are hedging your money, you will lose. This one, the whole stainless steel inside is probably $500 or $300. Stainless steel is of no value. But guess what? If you buy this watch second hand, now it's too late. But if you had bought this when I bought it for about $11,000, $11,500 in 2012. Today is what from $25K to $30K on the used market. If you have box and papers, which of course I have.
Mm-hmm.
So a used watch that doubles in value after you have used it and worn it and used it to do shakara and enjoyed it. 12 years later, it's appreciating. So that is the issue with property. If you do same thing with cars, some people tell you, car is not an asset. Car is not an asset. I sent a video yesterday. One guy bought a scrap metal of a Ferrari for $1.8 million, simply because the scrap metal had the chassis number of the Ferrari on it. He will spend another $4 million because as long as they scrap the chassis on it, Ferrari will rebuild it for you. So he bought $1.8 million. He's going to spend about $4 million with Ferrari. Once the car comes out, it's worth between $10 and $15 million. But they say, car and asset, you can't go buy Kia Rio. About the liability you buy. So, of course, at the end of the day, and I always tell people this, that if he is not responsible for any financial decision you take,
yes,
you're going to have to take responsibility for your financial decisions. But the problem is, are you mentored while you're taking your financial decisions? Are you properly guided? Do you have somebody who has a track record? Forget all those people that come online and tell you big things and they make plenty mouth up and down. But track record counts. Track record matters. Let me tell you, you can meet someone who has zero track record and you invest your money with him and it works. Then you can meet somebody that has all the track record and then you invest money with him and it doesn't work out. Remember, investments are always risky. And I tell people, don't carry your life savings and come and invest. In America, if you want to buy a house, you want to rent a house, and you are earning $10,000 a month, you cannot rent a $5,000, $10,000 a month. You cannot rent a $5,000 a month house. Because your house should not be more than 30% of your income. Your investment too should not be more than a certain percentage of your savings or your asset base, until you understand that. Many of you jump, Elon Musk, I sold everything I had and I went to business. One day, they know they tell you the whole truth. Oh, no, sell everything you have, enter investment. Oh, tears day down the road. Oh, he said it took him a 2-year period Meaning, if he started today, he is not fully in the investment until 2025. Am I correct?
Yes.
Another problem with Nigerians is disposable mentality. Now. It's like you go in now today and you buy crypto. Then 1 month later, the crypto dips. And then you start crying everywhere, crypto is very bad. Oh. Let me give you an example. I bought into Gala stock. I came in at about, my first purchase about 0.04. Gala dropped to 0.03. What did I do? I bought again at 0.03. It dropped again to 0.02. I bought again at 0.02. It dropped to 0.019. I bought again at 0.019.
That's buying the dips. Buying the dips.
If I was somebody that did not understand crypto, I've lost my money. That first dip at that $3, now I don't lose my money. If it drops to 1.5 again, I will buy again. Because if I buy at that 1.5 and it doesn't even get to 4 again, it gets to 3 from that 1.5, I've made my money back. So if I sell half of what I have at 3, whatever I have as is going up to, because it went as far as 0.06, I will now make a profit, or I can hold on to it for 6 months or a year. Then the possibility that I can make my money back increases. Doesn't mean I can still not lose my money. So when it comes to investment, always follow proper mentoring. It helps. Mentoring is what distinguishes you from the layman on the street that say, they say house is asset, and you go buy a house for Ikorodu, and you live in VGC. You can't go buy a house for Ikorodu. Baba, you will suffer tire. Or you can't go buy a house for Ajawe, you don't know. House na asset, you buy a house where Red Sea, now in the joint between. I have a lady who, my very good friend, was living in Festac and working in VI. House na asset, they go buy their own land for Aja, build their house. Rainy season like this, they don't know if you go work. If they go work, they don't come home. If the rain catches them before they leave the house, they are not going to school, they are not going to work that day, and sometimes it lasts 3 days. If they are outside and the rain catches them, they are not going to. They did this madness for about a year. You will not believe it. They left their house that they built and went to rent somewhere closer.
Wow. Wow. Lots of investments.
Lots of investments. But your father and mother will say, call build your house. Oh, build your house. If you don't know about housing, your house can be the biggest problem you have in your life if you buy wrong. So always submit to mentorship. Ask questions. As you see me so, you think, say, because I get Bible knowledge, because rabbis taught me Talmud. Baba, me and one of my guys just go pay today. Now the guy even pay for me without fight for afternoon. It just, of course, our fight now play fight. He just reach out to me, say, he don't buy me course, so we don't go book him down. We go read, we go listen to a theologian explain his understanding of the beginning of creation. So you have to learn that until you are ready to be mentored. It takes, how do they put it, only mediocres tell you they know everything, because it takes genius to recognize talent. So it takes talent to recognize genius. Anybody tell you can do it, oh, you can do it. From the day they born you to your pie, if you do voice training 3 times a day, every day for 15 years, you can never sing like Michael Jackson. You can never sing like Michael Jackson. But mediocres will tell you can do it, you can do it. It takes talent to understand that this Michael Jackson, they're exceptional. Freddie Mercury, they're exceptional. If you like, sing for every choir, for every church within Nigeria. You know, if you sing Freddie Mercury or Octave or Mariah Carey, you can come close, you can try. So at the end of the day, you need people who will be realistic with you in their explanation of what you're about to do. There's no protection of money in investments, but mentorship can guide you on how much you can put so as not to cry at the end of the day. So over to you.
Yeah, so talking about mentorship, okay? So one of the things that mentorship helps you with is it brings the risks involved in any investment down, because now you are going in with somebody that already has done what you're trying to do, okay? That already has some experience in what you're trying to do. Now, again, this comes by experience. You see that wealth of experience. So, for instance, I heard of somebody that went and bought, just decided to do real estate investing without being, going through any training. So now this person went and got into a foreclosure property. Okay, so got into a foreclosure property. Now, foreclosure property is one thing I teach my students, don't go into. Okay, don't go into this because of so thing. Now, this person got into this particular property, trying to do, a quick flip. Guess what? Right now, he's about to lose the money he put down, about $20,000. Okay, he's about to lose it. But this is something that a mentor would have, taught you. You don't have enough experience in this. You don't have the track record. You're not able to do this at this time of this level of your experience. Leave the foreclosure property. There are other properties that you can go for. You see that? So when you refuse to, or when you don't want to submit to mentorship, to training, when you want to, in the Nigerian, style, let me just put it that way, in Nigerian style, you want to learn everything. They call it ikati fenanya, like strong, using strong eye to do it. You're gonna have to, before you know it, you're making those mistakes that are preventable because nobody is guiding you. You will figure it out eventually at the cost of time, at the cost of money, at the cost of possible loss of investment. You see that? And then you say that this thing doesn't work. No, real estate today is still the best and safest form of investment. You cannot be wealthy, you cannot be rich without having some form of real estate holding. I keep telling people this. Okay? So even if you're fixing and flipping, you fix, you flip properties and all of that, you must have to start holding on to properties. Okay? Because it's an appreciating asset. It's an appreciating, the value will keep going up. So even if today the interest rates are high, we all know today interest rates are high, but guess what? In the next 5 years, the price of that property is going to be higher. What you can do today, buy it, even with interest rates high, buy it. When interest rates go back down, refinance it. But the only thing you will not do is to sit by the side and waiting for interest rate to go down. Okay, that's like waiting for the sun to rise in the morning. You're gonna have to wait for a very long time. So, real estate, again, the best and safest form of investment. If you want to learn how to get into the real estate sector, how to invest in properties, how to buy, identify the right type of property to buy. Okay, how and again, I tell people this: investment property is easier to acquire than your primary home. Investment property is easier to acquire than your primary home. I'll give you an example. Okay, so I'm a real estate investor. I buy a lot of properties, you know, maybe every month or every other month. Okay, so
every market day.
Yeah, and earlier today, I also signed a contract, you know, on another acquisition, you know, potential acquisition. So now, to do a primary home, there's going to be a lot of requirements that the lenders are going to be asking of you. Okay, so talking about documents, you know, and they have a lot of stringent procedure. For instance, nobody is going to lend you the money you are going to put down on down payments. You see that? If you are working, you know, and you won't miss, let's say, any week, you have to account for every particular day that you did not work, because they want to make sure, you know, how your income is coming in. You know, they use all these things to qualify or disqualify you. Your credit score, you know, there's a whole bunch of your tax records for past 2 years and things like that. So they use that to disqualify you. So there's a lot of people that earn good money, but they cannot buy a property today. They earn good money, they can't buy a property because of, you know, things like this. But when it comes to real estate investing, you see that all those things don't apply. All those things don't apply. Yes, because okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. There's a property I financed last in June. We're in August now. I financed it in June. Not a single document did I produce. Not a single document did I produce. And this happened within a space of 48 hours. I was able to, you know, put that, get the money and close on the property within a space of 48 hours. Now, that's not, you can never do that when you're trying to buy your primary home. It's not just, it's not possible. Okay? It's not possible. Now, so that's one of the things, you know, for real estate. And then the leverage it gives you a lot of leverage. Okay? And it's based on this leverage is one of the things that, you know, as a real estate investor, we take advantage of. Now, I'll give you an example again. I bought a property worth $145,000 last month. Now, this property, I had to put down $35,000, you know, as my down payment to acquire this property. But that $35,000 I put down, I'm able to leverage on other people's money.
OPM.
Other people's money. OPM. To acquire the property worth $145,000. Now, this property has gone through some process of rehabilitation, and tomorrow it will be delivered to me. Like they're wrapping up right now. You know, tomorrow it will be delivered to me. Now, this property is now worth $280,000. $280,000, and I put in $35,000 in this property. So that's about $100,000 gross profit on a property I bought in June. You see that in the middle of June. So it's about 2 months now. You see that? So that's the leverage that real estate gives you that you cannot get anywhere. You know, you can't get it anywhere. That leverage to be able to put down a little and get a lot out of it. If you come with a new business proposal, you know, before the banks will lend you money, you're going to go through a lot. But once it's real estate, they know that this is a physical asset. It's a tangible asset. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. They know that. It's that, and then you can as well use it to your benefit to build wealth. okay, to acquire all these properties. And then what you decide to do with these properties, that's a different strategy altogether. You see that? So talking about the strategies, there are what you call the fix and flip, where you buy property, you fix them up, forcing value of this property to go up, and then, you can sell it. Or if you want to hold it, you refinance it and keep it to yourself. You can use it for vacation rental, Airbnb. It does well in some places. You see that? It does well in some places. Yes. You can also rent it, for the long term, and allow
someone is
to happen
asking,
on this property.
Okay. The person is saying, Ebiere is asking, how long after buying can you resell? How long after buying can you resell?
So, property acquisition as a real estate investor, okay? So, sometimes within 7 days, you have concluded in the purchase, depending on how you are financing this property, okay? Sometimes within 7 days, sometimes 2 weeks, but generally within 1 month when you're using a bank, local like banks, to finance your project. But if you're using cash, if you're paying in cash, it happens faster. Now, how long depends on the scope of the rehab, the scope of what? Because I tell people, don't buy a property that you cannot add some value to, okay? Don't buy a property that you cannot add some value to at the time you buy it, because that's how people get into trouble. You see that? But when you buy a property that you can add value to, so by the time you are done adding the value, it's got a totally whole new value, what we call after repair value. You see? And that's how you pull some money out of the property. And you keep repeating this process. You see that? So from acquiring or having just one property, now you can acquire multiple properties because you are able to pull out your initial investment out of this deal and still keep the deal if you want. So talking about selling, again, it depends on the scope of work. So a lot of times, scope of work falls within 6 weeks for light rehab, light rehab, like 6 weeks, okay, up to 2-3 months. You see that? So, but again, it depends on your experience. It depends on your experience. If you don't have experience, things that normally take 1 week will take 2 weeks. You see that? If you don't know the road from Lagos to Ibadan, it might take you longer to get there. If you don't know the direct route from Lagos to Ibadan, because you have no experience, nobody guiding you, telling you to take, maybe take this particular route, you're going to get there. It
will take you a longer time.
It will take you a longer time to get there. You see that? So these are all the things when I in my mentorship class, I teach people how to manage their contractors, how to build their team, how to assemble their team. Things they should do, things they should not do. When to get the city involved, when not to get the city involved.
So let's talk about getting the city involved. What exactly do you mean by getting the city involved?
Okay, so when you are doing let's say fix and flip, right? Okay, so getting the city involved means having the city come to inspect what you're doing. Okay, having the city, come to inspect what you're doing. Okay, in some cases it's required, in some cases it's not required. But if you don't know all this, and then you get in some markets or in some cities, it takes a very long time to get the city to show up for inspection. So planning all these things. These are things, based on experience. And these are things I teach people. Is that how to maximize efficiency. when you're fixing and flipping. You see that? And how to keep to the budget, how to analyze, and when you look at a property, you already know how much you're going to put in the property. Yes. You see, so, and how to identify how much a property fixing is going to cost you. I teach them this. So looking at a property, I already have an idea how much I'm going to be putting in this property to turn it around. And these are the kind of, things I teach people. So knowing all this information, again, information is power, right? Information is power. That's why you have a mentor. Now, somebody that is doing this, that have done this, that is still doing this in different markets, is that will tell you, this will cost you more, this will cost you more, this will cost you less, this will cost you less. This is the average, you should be spending on this. This is the amount you should not go over spending on this. Now, when you have all this information, take for instance, let's use your Rolex as an example. You go to buy a Rolex, okay, in a store, based on the Nigerian market situation where there is no particular price tag. If you have no idea how much they sell your Rolex or a Rolex, whatever they ask you, that becomes the price. Whatever they tell you, that becomes the price, right? The actual price for people that know may be, let's say, $100,000. But because you have no idea, totally have no idea, they can tell you $200,000, and you pay. You think you got a bargain. And the same thing applies in real estate. In real estate, you see, when I see people go to buy properties in some places that we investors don't like to buy properties, we can't turn out the same profits on a deal. We can't turn it out because I know where to shop and the strategies I implement. And this is a strategy I use this strategy. I gave one of my students this strategy, David. You may want to bring him in. You may want to bring David in.
What's his name?
Bring him.
How do I bring him in?
Are you able to check your messages?
Okay.
So that's it. I gave David, one of my mentees, I gave him a strategy that he implemented, and from a purchase price that he already locked in on a contract.
Is that
yes. So on a property that he already got on a contract, he was able to still knock off $18,000 because of what I told David to do. A strategy I told him, do this, tell them this, and he implemented it. He got $18,000 discount on a property, a purchase on a property price. Okay, but normally, if David was not my mentee, David wouldn't be privy to this kind of information. He wouldn't be privy to this kind of
okay. I'm bringing him
knowledge.
now. I sent him a request.
Okay, you see, he wouldn't be privy to this kind of knowledge, and because he's not privy to this kind of knowledge, he would have lost $18,000 straight away.
Hey, Daddy Freeze. Hey, Chuma.
Hi, David. How
Hey,
are
David.
you doing?
Good. I've been listening to you since I logged in.
Yeah. So
go ahead. Let's hear from you. I'm quite interested in hearing about this strategy.
Okay, so David was talking about, I don't know if you've been following.
Yeah.
So
I heard it.
Okay. So tell them what strategy I told you to implement that got you $18,000 knocked off from a property you already have locked in a contract.
Yeah. So pretty much it's just simple. I just did as Chuma instructed. I got the property under contract for I think 70,000 or 80,000. So
82,
after
right.
getting it 102,000, so after getting it under contract, I did inspection and told them hey, look, based on what the inspection report that came out and all of that, that we have to knock off. No, first, I first knocked off $10,000. That was too much. So when I knock off 10,000, got the property under contract, did the inspection. When the inspection report came out, I called the agent. I said, hey, look, based on the inspection report, certain things are not right. And then I requested for another $8,000 off. And then they granted it. So all the way from 182,000, knock off $18,000.
So eventually you got it for about 160 or
162,000. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he implemented
Chuma?
because he's a coachable, right? He's coachable. He's somebody that takes action. And again, this David bought me a property from the training he had in my class. He was able to implement it. He found a property that he wholesaled. That's what we call wholesaling. That he wholesaled to me. Okay, that's the property I was telling you I bought a couple of months ago. That will be delivered tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a property in Florida. So David was
Tampa, Florida,
to finding that deal from the training he had in my class. So he implemented that. He found the deal. He got paid, wholesale fees for finding the deal. You see that? So these are the kind of things I teach people, how to find these things yourself, how to find these things yourself, how to be able to analyze it, to know when you have a deal or not, or when you are being taken. You see that? So real estate investing again is totally different from just going out there to just buy a house that you see on Zillow, Zillow.com.
I like the house. I like the way the floors are. Oh, I love the house. The house. That's buying a house for sentimental reasons.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Different mindsets. It's a different mindset. So take for instance, I don't buy property. When I go to buy property, I don't buy property based on the looks, or based on I want 4 bedrooms, or based on I want chandelier in the kitchen, or based on I want granite or quartz countertop. No, because I know I can bring in all this. You see that? I know I can bring this value to the property. So I'm looking at totally different. I'm looking at it from a totally different angle. You see that? So I'm looking at it, how can I add value to this property? How can I force the value of this property to go up? How can I make the changes that I want, that the market wants? Okay, because at the end of the day, what we do in real estate is that we serve the people. We are serving people. We are providing accommodation, housing, providing housing to people. You see that? We are rescuing distressed properties. Okay, so that's the bottom line of what we do: provide accommodation. And in doing that, when you have done, in good enough quantity, you have served in good enough quantity, the market rewards you. And I teach people to learn how to do this by themselves. Okay. You don't have to, carry your money, and keep, get on the driver's seat. Learn this, because every wealth is built on real estate. I keep telling you, every wealth has a foundation in real estate. Even if you acquire your wealth from a different sector, it's only real estate that can keep it safe for you. That's the only place you can keep your wealth, a store of value in real estate. And again, it appreciates.
All right, Chuma. Somebody on TikTok, by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. I'm still looking for my number 1 and my number 2 gifter. Follow my number 1 and my number 2 gifter on TikTok. The person's name is Damasio, and Damasio is asking, do you buy tax liens and foreclosure?
Okay, so I have bought a foreclosure property. Okay, and I paid cash for that. Okay, so for foreclosure is a little bit tricky. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for people that are just starting out. Okay, so banks have a very strict procedure. A lot of times it takes longer. Do I buy it? Yes, I do buy it. But rarely do I buy it. Rarely do I buy it. Because a lot of times you have to pay more than you want to normally. You see that? Remember, we are trying to use other people's money as much as possible. OPM. We don't want to put down, put our whole money in a deal. You see that? But a lot of time foreclosure makes you put in more than you want to put in. And that's why it's not the number one go-to for me.
What about tax liens? The person is also asking about tax liens. What are tax liens, and what is your understanding, and what's your advice regarding that?
So talking about tax lien, it takes a long time as well. It can be a very good buy. It can be a very good buy if you have the time. Okay, so sometimes because you are dealing with the city, okay, you are dealing with the city. In some cases, in the next, let's say 6 months, you still haven't taken possession. You see that? Sometimes up to a year. You see? So it depends on if you can wait it out, then, that's fine. So tax lien is a property that the city has taken possession of because somebody has defaulted in paying their taxes, their property taxes. So the city has taken possession of this property and is trying to sell them off and recoup their money. So again, government things take longer, than the regular process. Sometimes they have to advertise it for a particular number of months, by default. You see that? So yeah, depending on what you want, how fast you want to move. If you are buying to keep, or if you are buying to flip, sometimes we don't have the time. If you are buying to flip, we don't have the gift of time.
You don't have the luxury of time.
Yes. So depend on what you want and the strategy you want to implement. Yeah, it can be a very good for tax lien. It can be a very good purchase if you have the time.
All right. A lot of people are asking, especially on other platforms, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, what does it take to join your class? How can they find you? They want you to mentor them. How can they find you?
Okay, so I go to my website, okay, www.fastrack.com. If somebody can pin it here, that would be great.
Fast Rack.
Yes, fastrack.com. And go to mentorship, okay? And then I have a program coming up this Saturday. I have a program, a training. It's a free-for-all training this Saturday. So you can as well attend, but you have to sign up. Go to my site, okay? Go to my site. You're going to see the training, and you sign up to attend this training. It's free. It's free. So we'll be talking about a lot there, how to find deals. We're going to do analysis of deals. You see that? So it's a real life, real scenario. And we'll be talking about a whole lot in real estate.
So let me pin it. You say it's
www.wealthfastrack.com. So there they can, yes.
Wealth. Fast rack, not fast track. Fastrack.com. So when they go to the site, what do they do?
So once you get to the site, sign up for the program I have coming up on Saturday. So there we are going to have some time to talk more on real estate. And then from there, you see if real estate is a good fit for you. Okay, if it is a good fit for you and you want to advance to more personal mentorship, then you can as well sign up for my mentorship. but you want to come for this particular free class and find out if real estate investing is good for you, you know. Yeah, so so that's the website. That's the website. It's right there.
www.fastrack.com, not fast track, but fast rack, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Fast rack, a rack that is fast. Wealthfastrack.com. All right. So I want to ask you a few questions, but I want people to just take that down. And let me move to the next question. Can you share your own experience? Why did you go into real estate? And would you advise people to go into real estate now, especially with the gloomy situation regarding the United States projection? Like somebody raised the NASDAQ earlier on. And a lot of people are also worried about the eventual strength of the dollar, especially since the dollar is being hedged on, what would I say?
On the dollar.
Yes, because the dollar, you know, we all know the dollar is not worth the dollar. We just know that it's some economic manipulation here and there. And with the newest news or the latest news coming out of BRICS, how would you advise people to handle investments, especially in this particular time frame?
Okay. So for me, why I went into real estate was one, the leverage. Okay. When I was in the oil industry, I had no leverage, not at all. Okay, it's all based on what and again, I have 24 hours in a day, all based on my 24 hours in a day, no single leverage. So if I fall sick tomorrow, okay, yes, there's a medical benefit, but again, you know, it's not going to be the same like you're working. So it's based on your effort, no leverage, low leverage. So now, the idea of other people's money, OPM, using other people's money to gain leverage. And one example of that is, let me use a property that David acquired for me. He sold to me. So this property in Florida, in Tampa, Florida, that David wholesaled to me. So the value right now, I bought this property for $145,000. I put in $35,000 to fix it. So I came in at $180,000. Now this property is worth $280,000 to $290,000 right now. It's being delivered to me tomorrow. Now look at the leverage. How much did I put down? How much did I bring it into this deal? $35,000 cash was my investment in this deal. $35,000, and now there's a gross profit on this deal of $100,000. So my $35,000 cash that I introduced into this deal is bringing me $100,000 gross profit. That's the leverage that I do not have for working, you know, in the oil industry or whatever, you know, it is. Whatever you exchange time for money, you don't get this kind of leverage. And while I'm on this particular property, which I've only visited one time, you know, the work is just, I'm still on other projects. You see that? Doing the same thing. So multiplicity of my time, multiplicity of the leverage, I can't get it anywhere. So that's, for me, is the reason why, you know, I went into real estate. And then talk about the tax benefits. Talk about the appreciation. Talk about the cash flow. Today I have several Airbnb properties I use for Airbnb. They bring in cash flow. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be there. And it keeps coming. It keeps coming. mean, I have the cleaners, that go do the cleaning, automatically scheduled. I don't even pay attention to that. So it kind of works, by itself. That's cash flow on one part. Okay, talking about the appreciation, we know real estate goes up in value. Property you buy today for, let's say, $100,000, will tomorrow, or let me not say tomorrow, will in the next 5 years, okay, be sold for maybe, say, 150, 200,000. So for doing nothing, just by holding on to it, okay, now you have an extra $100,000 or $50,000, as the case may be, in the next 5 years, for doing what? Doing nothing. That you cannot get from your job. You can't get that from your job. Your job can only give you incremental salary, maybe $1 every year. Okay, $1 raise. If so you can't just get this kind of benefits. So talking about inflation. Today we are dealing with inflation, right? We are dealing with inflation. How best do you hedge against inflation? It's through real estate. When money starts losing value, when the dollar starts losing its strength, today the dollar is based on good faith of the dollar. It's not backed by anything. It's just just the word of the president. You see that? So how do you hedge against all this? It's through owning tangible assets that cash flows, that brings you income. So that even if the inflation is going through, remember you're already locked in your mortgage. So you are using that worthless dollar at that time to control the property. It's tangible assets. So, and that asset is something that will go up in value with time. Just give it time. And then if you do what I teach students to do, forcing value, okay, through value addition, that means buying distressed properties and doing the rehab on them to force the value to go up right there within a couple of months. The value has gone up. So even if you want to sell, you sell, you cash out. Even if you want to cash out, refinance, and keep the property, which is a different aspect of the real estate I teach people, how you get the money out. Your initial down payment, remember the down payment you put in, you get it out and you still hold on to the property. You see that? So now two things. The money you put down as your down payment, you got it out within 3 months. You have it back to you, that cash. And then you still have the property. That somebody else, let's say a tenant, is paying the mortgage. So you have a property that cost you nothing at that time. You don't get this when you buy your personal property, your primary home. You don't get this when you buy your primary home. They don't even want you to borrow the down payment. That they don't even want to borrow the down payment. You see that? But in investing in real estate, they don't care where we get the money from. You see that? So we just keep doing the business because we are business people. We just keep doing our business. You see that? And again, this does not require any form of licensing. You're just a business person. You're just a business person. No licensing required. You see that? It's different from being a real estate agent or a realtor or a broker. Those are commissioned agents. You need some licensing because here you are representing some people in the real estate transaction. You are representing people, their interests. So but in real estate investing, you're a business person. You're buying properties to either keep or you're buying property to sell.
To sell, yeah.
You see that? And knowing how to do this the right way, knowing how to buy, because at the time you buy, that's when your profit is locked in. At the time you buy. The property David here sold to me, okay? When I ran the numbers, it tallied with what I trained David. The training David got from me made me like, okay, David knows what he's doing. And that's a good deal. And I did the math, it all worked out. And today, property, that's a $100,000 gross profit within in less than 2 months. So
I want to ask you a question.
Inflation,
how long did it take David to get the training? How long did it take you to train David?
So David, the mentorship I provide is a 5-day intensive mentorship, 5 days. So it usually runs from Monday to Friday. So that Friday is packed. That 5 days is packed. Okay, is packed. And after that, I have a ongoing mentorship where you can book a call on my site. So you go to my site, you go to the mentorship section, and you can book a coaching call. So that way, if you have any challenges along the line, we'll be able to take care of it. We'll be able to take care of it. Okay, so the mentorship class was for 5 days. But then David is somebody that takes action, right? He's somebody that takes action. So he took action on what the training he got and implemented it. Because in the class, I told them, look, I buy properties all the time. If you implement these strategies and you do it in the market that I buy, and I told them the markets that I buy properties, if you find me a property based on the knowledge you have today in the markets that I buy and it's a good deal, I'll buy it. If you want me to buy it, I'll buy it. Okay? But if you want to implement it, you go ahead and implement it. It's a good deal. I'll help you make sure you're getting into some good deals.
Hold on. There's a guy in the comment section who is talking about being a real estate investor.
Okay.
Please, they say his name is Dr. Bison. I'm going to remove him from the live. Please, don't come and advertise inside my comment section. Anybody that does business with somebody in the comment section, you do so 100% at your own risk. Don't even call me. Somebody called me the other day and said, Daddy Freeze, I met somebody in your comment section and I did business with him. I said, it's like you are mad. So let me remove him. Please, guys, totally ignore him. Dr. B, whatever he calls himself, totally ignore him. I've proceeded to remove him from the live. I don't know, neither do I know Duchess Meg. I don't know them. They are telling you to meet you inside DM. I don't know them from anywhere. Like I've said, any investment is risky. The one that the person that is doing the live does not even know the person. You will lose 100% of your money. I'm removing Duchess Meg too. Duchess Meg, please. Stop trying to sell your market inside here. Let me remove her to Wim. Thank you very much. Very good.
So I see somebody say real estate is not straightforward. You have to buy wisely. I disagree. I disagree with that. You know why I disagree? When you have the right training, and you have a mentor by your side, you know the right property to buy. Okay?
Mo Mason is saying, I get license. You want to come and advertise? Enter my DM. I will charge you my full rate, 1.5 million. After I do some level of due diligence on you. Stop shouting inside the comment section, bring me on, bring me on. Chuma that I say, I think he came here for free. So let this be the last time you tell me you get license. I don't care about your license. Come book your own session. If you truly have a license and you truly know what you are talking about, and you truly know that you have dedication for this, don't come inside another man's shop and try to sell. Real estate business is risky enough not to stop of someone that you don't know. He's chatting you up in the comment section. You too, you are carrying, yes, meet me in the DM, meet me in the DM. Okay, so Mo Mason, you send me a DM. I'll pick you up from there, have conversations with you. We'll have a phone call, then we'll book you later. Maybe I'm not free next week, maybe upper week, or maybe till end of next week. I'm not even sure. I'm just talking on the top of my head. Okay. So please, brother, we are here to hear Chuka out. And Chuka has been here before. And he also came with one of his prodigies, somebody that learned from him and actually was able to, by his own testament, make some money. So please let us hear him out. And like I say, if this is something that's interesting to you, you should go to www.wealthfastrack.com. Wealth is spelled W-E-A-L-T-H. Fast, F-A-S-T. Rack, R-A-C-K.com. Wealthfastrack.com. Wealthfastrack.com. Wealthfastandrack.com. Go there now. Register, right? When they get there, what happens when they get there, Chuma?
When they get there, they sign up. I have a free class on Saturday. Okay, so if they want to know if this is for them, if they have any questions, so it's going to be a Q&A class. Okay, so any particular question they have, we'll share. We share knowledge. Okay, and that will also help them to know if real estate is actually for them, or if it's a cryptocurrency, that is good for them. Okay, I do real estate. Now, talking about real estate, I say it's straightforward, especially in the US. In Nigeria, there's a whole lot of, unknowns in Nigeria. It's like a free-for-all kind of game. But here, things are pretty much straightforward. Okay, things are pretty much straightforward in the sense that, let me use the example of a property David bought for me since David is here. Okay, now, this particular property, I never saw it. I never saw it until maybe about a month before I actually saw this particular property. But because I know the documents, everything about documentation is straightforward. I don't really have to be there. Did I see the property on video? Yes, I saw the property on video. You have to do your due diligence. Okay, you have to do your due diligence. The property was toured, okay, via video. And again, with expertise, with training, with knowledge, with experience, you start to observe and know how to put numbers together just through video. You'll be able to to a large extent, estimate how much you're going to be spending on a property at the time you're buying it, even if you weren't there, even if you weren't there in person, But these are, the kind of questions to ask. You see that? So all these things come with having somebody teaching you what to ask, how to ask, things to look out for, the ones that are going to cost you the most, and all these strategies. Okay, for us investors, real estate is not emotional purchase. It's another commodity. Am I going to live in there? No, I'm not. I'm not going to live in there. So I don't need, the granite countertop, whether it has it or not. I don't need all that because I know I can bring in all of that if I need to. You see that? To force the value of the property to go up. So talking about if it's straightforward or if it's not, it's pretty straightforward. You can acquire a property, but then have a mentor, have somebody guiding you. It's when you try to do something that you have no training on, nobody guiding you. That's when it becomes not straightforward to you. To me, it is, because I've bought many properties and they've always been straight. because I also had a mentor. I also still have a mentor. Okay, so that's what I'll leave you with. Then somebody is asking, talking about San Francisco. So there are places I don't invest in. There are places I don't invest in. Some places are landlords friendly. Some are not. Okay, that's what I'm asking right now. Some places are landlords friendly. Some are not. Some are tenants friendly. Like they have policies that suit the tenants more than the landlord. Okay. I recently heard about one of an investor that invests in New York area was able to evict a tenant, a non-paying tenant, after 4 years. 4 years. A non-paying tenant after 4 years, because of the way New York structured their landlord-tenant relationship. You see that? So personally, I don't want to be in that situation. I choose my market where I'm in control. You see that? Where I'm in control. The cash flow, I want it. Okay, I don't want to lose grip. I don't want to lose control, because the whole essence of the whole thing is to control the property. Don't put it in your name. I keep telling people, don't put it in your name.
Why? Why shouldn't they put the property in their name? Why?
Because of liability issues. You don't want something that you do in, let's say, in your personal life, rolling over into your your rental property or your real estate investment property. You don't also want an issue that you have in your property rolling over into your personal finances and your home. You see that? Now your car is in question, your house is in question because of a business transaction you did somewhere. You see that? So these are the kind of the reasons why you have to separate all of this. You want to separate all of this. So you want to control. Don't put in your name. Be the one controlling it, and don't lose that control. So in some of these states, as a landlord, you don't have a lot of control because they favor the tenants more. I don't invest in those places. I don't.
So where are these places where landlords do not have the control they want or need?
Well, I'm going to mention a few of them, okay? But these are the what we discussed in detail in the class. So New York is one terrible area. New York, one terrible area. Okay, so yeah, I have nothing doing in New York. Okay, I have nothing doing in New York, and I don't want to. Terrible for landlords. So if you own a property, you are an investor in New York, it's not in your favor at all. You just don't want to find out. But if you already are, good for you. Just pray everything works out good. Okay, they have terrible policies. Squatters. Somebody moves into your property and then the next day it becomes you can't even evict the person. The person is not entitled to live in your property. No. No.
Make una they learn lesson, no. Make una they learn lesson, no. So una no go come cry tomorrow. Say,
Somebody say California. Yes, California is also friendly to the tenants, to the detriment of the landlord. But again, what are we trying to do? We are trying to provide accommodation. We are solving people's problems. We are solving. That's all we are doing. We are solving problems, providing accommodation. Okay. The other day I heard that Canada is trying to cut down on the number of people that are Japan, through studies, because they don't have enough accommodation to take them all in. You see? I don't know how, how when they intend to implement that, but from what they said, that they're going to cut down. They're looking into it. You see, again, accommodation, and that's what we are trying to solve. Provide enough accommodation, rescue all these distressed properties, make them livable. Somebody will like it and will move into it.
Somebody is asking, what about DC? What about Maryland? What about Virginia? My answer is, why don't you go right now to www.wealthfastrack.com. Go to wealthfastrack.com. Once again, wealthfastrack.com. Wealth is spelled W-E-A-L-T-H. Fast, F-A-S-T. Rack, R-A-C-K.com. Wealthfastrack.com. When they go there again, what do they do, Chuma?
So when you go to wealthfastrack.com, sign up for my class that is coming up on this Saturday. It's a free class, free to attend. So you can sign up there, and then whatever question you have, we'll talk about it, and from there you decide if real estate is a good fit for you. Okay, and if you want to go further ahead and you want to sign up for my mentorship, okay, my mentorship is 5 days intensive training, which continues. Okay, so but when you get there, you can sign up for this particular one on Saturday. It's holding this Saturday. Okay, so that way you find out if investing in real estate is a good fit for you. Again, I
think we lost your audio.
No. So that is that's what you do when you get to the site. That's what you do when you get to the site.
All right. I'm going to take 2 questions from the audience. 2 questions. Someone is asking, how much is it for 5 days for your training? So let people know so that they will not come and be, how do I put it? Let them know what they can afford and what they cannot afford. It's always very healthy like that.
So for my my mentorship is $1,000. Okay, mentorship is $1,000. It's an ongoing mentorship because mentorship actually doesn't stop. You see that it doesn't stop. So it's an ongoing mentorship. It runs for 5 days, intensive. So within these 5 days, we do a lot. I mean, David here was in one of my classes, and today David still continues to get mentorship, in several areas. And David has tried to partner with me in a property, okay, that he found, but he couldn't, complete the acquisition by himself. Okay, I came in, and we are getting that done. So, but then you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing, and based on the training that David got, he was able to implement what I trained him and found something that is good, that I'm also interested in, for the mutual benefit of both of us, and we got it done. So go to the site. It's a $1,000. Okay, it's a $1,000, and for the 5 days, it's still ongoing. Sign up if you want the training, the mentorship. Okay, again, don't attempt to do this without mentorship. There's a lot of information that we share in the mentorship. That's where I tell them, do this, don't do this, don't do this one, do this one at this time, don't do this. So by the time they leave the class, they are well equipped. They know what to do. They know where the kind of markets to get into. They know the markets that they can get into and the ones that they need to avoid. They have a lot of knowledge. They know how to manage their team, how to set up a team of their contractors that will get the property fixed up for them. They know how not to be taken in the market. They know where to shop, where not to shop, and there's different strategies to use on the different markets. You see, so David gave you an example of how he implemented a strategy I told him and slashed down 18,000 off a deal that he found. Okay, this is something that is already locked in a contract, and he got it down $18,000. You see that? So these are something. It doesn't just drop from the sky. It's somebody that will show you how to get this done. And if you skip that process, you either pay in time or you pay in money. You either pay in time or you pay in money. There's just no way around that.
Absolutely. I also want to use this as an opportunity to ask, is the $1,000 for the mentorship or just the 5 classes?
So the $1,000 is for the mentorship.
Oh.
Which starts out, yes, which runs for 5 days, but it's continuous. It's continuous. All my mentees get into all the classes I have. The next mentorship they get in. So once you have got into my mentorship, subsequent mentorship classes you are free to attend. To keep nurturing your knowledge.
So for instance, if somebody pays for your mentorship class now and there's another mentorship class in November, they can get on for free.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. So
wow.
It's the one-time. Yes, it's a one-time mentorship. One time.
No.
So once you pay that
let's get this very
$1,000.
clear. So when is your next class?
So my next class is somewhere in September. It hasn't been fixed, but it's around 11th. That's the time we are looking at.
Okay.
Around
so
the
imagine
11th.
I pay you now $1,000 for the class in September. And
September, yes.
And you teach me for 5 days. Now, let's say that in December, you have another mentorship class. Am I going to have to pay again in December?
No.
Oh.
No. So once you pay, you are free to join the next class. So what happens is that once we're sending invites to the new mentees, we'll send invites to all mentees. So by choice,
it's like a lifetime subscription.
Yes. So by choice, you can join, and it helps a lot. They keep
so it's not like, hey,
knowledge.
we're going to teach you for 5 days. Bye. No. It's you keep learning from other people's mistakes. You keep learning from other people's success stories over a prolonged period. Because initially I was like, 5 days, $1,000. That means $200 per day. Oh, but if you're going to have value that you can tap into for a prolonged period of time, then it's sounding like it's actually even, forgive me to say, rather cheap.
Yes, it is. Okay, and the reason is this. The reason is this. I set up this mentorship package this year. That's when I started doing this. I told you, right? And this is kind of a give back, from me. Okay, even David here at the time, you'll be like, man, I mean, you can testify that David, you want to tell them, that what he paid, the $1,000. Let me use David as an example since it's here. Okay, mentorship I provided David was for $1,000 mentorship. From that training, the knowledge that David got, he found a property that he sold to me. David made more than 6 times that $1,000 that he paid cash. Okay, that's right. That's one. That's one. Okay, so and then David also found me a property, and I also partnered with David on a property. So there's a lot of things that go in between. You see that? So it's kind of I mean, we are growing each other, and I want to impact on people. I want to impact on people. So talking about $1,000, yes, you can join the, you know, as you wish, as you wish, because each mentorship class is different from the last one. How is it different? We share different. I share different experiences. I share different experiences. I show them, okay, I bought this particular property because I buy properties. Okay, this is my experience on this. So every mentorship is different. We share real life knowledge, real life experience on what they need to do, what they don't need to do. Okay, so these are a way of giving back from me, and
yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
okay.
Sorry, I just went to get some peanut.
So somebody's asking what time is this for? You know, the 5 days, the mentorship class. So it normally runs from 7 p.m. Central Time to 9:30 p.m. Central Time for those 5 days. So why we do it, we set it up that way is to allow people that work, you know, to have return from work and things like that, and then be able to take part in this. And this is also a recorded session. So each mentorship is recorded. The whole 5 days is recorded. So even if you miss something, you can still go back and play it back, watch the recording. You see, and then.
So where do you do your recording? Zoom, Telegram?
So it's a Zoom. So we do a live Zoom. Okay. For mentorship is a live Zoom. You know, so that you ask your question real time. We share knowledge real time. We do the analysis real time. I mean, by the time you are done with the class, you know how to do some of these things we talked about. And then remember, it's ongoing. But then again, you have to take action. You have to take action. Okay?
Now, what about the free class on Saturday? That one is totally free, or is there any hidden charge for that one?
So the Saturday is a free class. So it's kind of a discovery. It's kind of a discovery class where you decide if real estate is a good fit for you, or if it's not. Okay, so we are going to be talking about real estate in detail. Okay, in detail. So after which you decide whether to go in or go out. You get what I mean? So people that want to go in at that point will advance to the mentorship, where we'll now use 5 days to get them up to speed. So,
okay, 2 more questions because a lot of people are enjoying it. So is real estate for you is a free class? You should be happy. Some people know they do free class. They go charge you and you go enter there only for you to realize that this is not for me and it's too late. So there's actually a free class that will help you regarding decision making concerning this particular future of investment. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask, especially at this time. Feel free to ask. What are your thoughts? Guys, ask your questions. I'm taking 2 more questions before we round off. While we're waiting for people to ask their questions, remember it is www.wealthfastrack.com. wealthfastrack.com. So, what are your questions?
So
Well,
the time for Saturday's event is 11 o'clock Central Time, which is 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay, so if you're in the US, Canada is 11 o'clock Central Time and 12 o'clock Eastern Time. The one for Saturday, again, is a free class. We'll talk about a lot about real estate, both the residential and the commercial.
okay. Now we have somebody here who is asking, do you teach about creating trust to protect your properties?
So I don't teach about creating of trust. So that is something you have to take on with your CPA accountant, okay, to or your attorney, okay, on how to proceed with trust. So what we do is real estate, okay. Real estate is what we teach about. Trust is something you discuss with your CPA or your tax attorney. Somebody is asking,
so
condo
somebody saying talk about the
investment
deal
good for
makers.
starters?
In the meantime, big shout out to Wiz Champion. Wiz Champion is my #1 gifter on TikTok. Big shout out to Wiz Champion. Follow my #1 gifter on TikTok if you're watching on TikTok. Now, Ami Kobiz says, talk to us about the deal makers. What are the deal makers? You know me, I don't know anything about real estate. If he's watching now, I probably would.
So the deal makers is the Saturday program. That's the title. The Saturday's program is called the Deal Makers. So it's a platform. Again, we'll talk about real estate. There you discover if this is good for you or not. So we'll analyze deals, do sample deal analysis, how to find deal, how to analyze the deal. Okay, so we'll talk about if a deal is profitable, if a deal is not profitable. Okay, so that's the bottom line. We'll talk about residential and we talk about commercial real estate as well. So it's a platform, that I created to run every Saturday. Okay, so this Saturday is not just the only Saturday, it's every Saturday we'll be talking about this real estate. Okay, there you also discover if you want to be part of the real estate team or if you don't want to be part of it. So somebody asked, are condo investment good for starters? I will tell you no. Okay, no. Yes, condo investments are not good for starters. And the reason is this. One, let me start from the pro. Okay, let me start from the pro and then get you to the cons. So the pro is a cheaper investment to get in. It's cheaper to get in. You can buy it for cheap. Okay. Then the cons there is this. A lot of times it is in a location that has HOA, Homeowners Association. And HOA will rip your profits down. Okay, if you are buying to hold, which means if you have a tenant, you're going to be sharing your profit with HOA. And a lot of times we don't like that as real estate investors. And HOA is something you have no control over. The fees can just keep going up. You are not the decision maker. You don't have control. Okay, you have lost control when it gets to HOA. So an HOA will decide if you can even rent the property or not. There's a property I wanted to buy. Okay, I wanted to buy. So during making my due diligence, I found that not only does it have HOA, the HOA does not allow you to rent the property. So that means I'll have to park up and come and live in the property. You see that? You can't even rent it out. You see, so it becomes a big red flag. You see that? So except I'm trying to buy a property that I want to live in, then I'll continue. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm an investor. It's a commodity to me. I can decide to rent it out. I can decide to flip it. But then if I'm flipping it, that means I have cut down on my prospect, the buyer. If I have an investor buyer, somebody that wants to rent it out, that means the person can't buy it. So I'm going to stay long. It's a bad deal from day one. You see that? So that's HOA for you. You lose control. Okay, that's why it's not a good investment for a starter. When you have stabilized, you have some cash, okay, and you don't mind riding out whatever they are taking and deducting, they're asking you to pay, then fine. Again, if you don't pay them, they can foreclose on your property and sell your property. That's HOA for you. They'll sell your property. That's the way it's done in the US. Okay, they have the right to sell your property, even though they didn't buy it for you. None of their dime went into the property, but they can sell your house. So that's why it's not a good investment for a starter.
Now,
so
someone
Chuma,
saying,
Daddy Freeze, if I can just chip in quickly.
Okay.
I just dropped off a relative at the airport and I parked somewhere along the road. I will have to really just go off now if you can release me so I can
Oh,
be on
yeah,
my way about that
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're finished anyway.
All right. So thank you very much, Chuma. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All
Daddy
right.
Thank you,
Freeze,
David.
nice to see you. This is the first time. Good job you're doing, Daddy Freeze. Keep it up.
Nice one. Nice seeing you. God bless
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
God bless you, bro.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you.
So someone is asking how to invest in US real estate market for those outside of Nigeria. So
Very important.
on Saturday, I'm holding a free class. Ask this question. Again, remember, every investment has some level of risk. There's no risk-free investment anywhere in the world. Some risks are higher than some others. Real estate in the US has a lower level of risk, okay? Especially in the acquisition, okay? Especially in the acquisition part. But then the knowledge to execute it and see to profitability is something that a mentor will have to guide you with, okay? But in terms of acquisition in the US, is actually way easier. I can't say that I'm sorry, but I can't say that for Nigeria. There's a whole lot that goes on in Nigeria real estate markets where people can buy 10 people can buy one property and they all have their documents. That is not going to happen in the US. And that's why it's a lesser risk investment, And anybody that tells you differently is not telling you the truth.
All right. So once again, guys, thank you, Chuma, for coming. Once again, guys, let me tell you how this works. What's wrong with Nigeria? Thank you for your gift on YouTube. Thank you very much. Visit www.wealthfastrack.com. wealthfastrack.com. There's nothing you're trying to do that you don't need mentorship for. And if Chuka is volunteering, Chuma, I'm tired, volunteering to mentor you continuously, I think, in my personal opinion, remember, I'm not a financial advisor and I never pose to be one, but in my personal opinion, I think that sounds quite enticing. It's up to you. Some people love houses. Some people love watches. Some people love production. Whatever you want to invest your money in, make sure it's for you. There's a free class this Saturday. Register now, www.wealthfastrack.com. Register. Find out if it's for you. If it is, you know what to do. Remember, it's your money, your choice, your financial liability, and your financial responsibility. Tomorrow, if you are driving G-Wagon, you will not even remember that you met him on Daddy Free's live. So tomorrow, if you put your money inside building and the money does not come out, don't also remember that I saw him on my live. Business, like I always tell people, is risky. But the richest people on earth are the people who take the most risks. Bill Gates dropped out of school to focus on Microsoft. Zuckerberg dropped out of school to focus on Facebook. Do you know how risky it is to drop out of not just school, Harvard? So you no one take risk. You want to sit down where you are and you want to make money. Rain and sun go be your best friend. Rain go beat you for morning and for night. Sun go beat you for afternoon. Now so your life go be. As you see me, I gave up a 26-year radio career to come and sit down on social media and have conversations. It's the riskiest thing I've ever done. Bad as it bad, when we talk for radio those days, at least we go chop that month. But I can tell you for free, after many painstaking months or years, my salary in the radio, I make it, my salary in a month, I make 4 of it in an hour. But I will not be where I am if I did not take the risk. And if I take the risk and the risk had not worked, I will not come and hold you. I be Chuma. Would I call you, hey Chuma, oh, now you say make I leave radio?
No.
So, and also, if I'm leaving the radio, going into a totally different venture, I have to have a delicate understanding of that venture. The risks, the benefits, the advantages, the dangers. Remember, attend the free class first. Make up your mind. Some people say a trial is all you need to confuse you. Others will say a trial is all you need to convince you. Are you the one that gets confused, or are you the one that gets convinced? Check the trial out. At least the trial is free. www.wealthfastrack.com. Wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H. Fast, F-A-S-T. Rack, R-A-C-K.com. www.wealthfastrack.com. Finally, one question as you are leaving, Chuma.
Mm-hmm.
How much does somebody need to start real estate business?
Okay, well, some people have started out without any money. Okay, and they started out at the bottom rung of the whole real estate ladder, which is what we call wholesaling, where they get a property, they find a property, and they pass it on, and they make some money. I will use David that left here as an example. Okay, I told you about the property he found for me, and he passed it on to me. I'm interested because it's a good deal, and he got compensated for that. So from nothing, he made some money. Okay, that's one way. You know, those are the starters, people that get started without money. Now, there's no limit to how much goes into real estate. Any amount of money you put in real estate is going to take it in, and it's going to still keep looking for more. Okay, that's real estate for you. The whole land on earth has not been built up, so there's always investment going on every day. So talking about the minimum, I have, as an example, I have purchased a property, my very first property, the very first property I bought, a distressed property in the state of Tulsa. I bought it for $10,000. Okay, cash, $10,000. So I was able to start, and that was my very first investment property. Okay, so how much can you start with? There's no limit to what you can start with. Today, I don't buy such properties anymore. If they're not in the hundreds, I don't buy them because I have, yeah. So again, different levels. You play, real estate is big. You play at your level, okay? You play at your level. So is there any amount to get in? I won't say yes or no. But if you don't have money at all, there's where you can start. And that is called wholesaling. When you find those deals, you pass it on to people like investors like us, and we take interest in it, and we pay you for finding such properties. So that's the way you can start without money.
All right. So that's as far as we can go today. Thank you so much, Chuma. And like I said earlier on, there's a free class this Saturday, wealthfastrack.com. Do check it out. It's up to you. Let me know how it goes in the DM. Give me the feedback. And if it's working too, remember to send some tithe our way. We don't complain. When the business kicks in, remember to call and say, Daddy Freeze, I met Chuma. It's working. And if it's not working, call God. Don't call me. So that's as far as I can.
Thank you so much, Daddy Freeze.
Thank you so much, Chuma, for being a guest. Look forward to hosting wealthfastrack.com. Thank you, Harriet, for sending me a Range Rover. God bless. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Daddy Freeze. Thank you so much for the platform. Thank you. I do appreciate. Thank you, listeners. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on Saturday. Any question you have, bring it to the class.